TA in the puck is solid, but there's a lot of things that give TA a rough time. But I think particularly the Phoenix, the damage over time there, it gives them an okay-ish egg hitter. I think the TA, with the talent, the Dragonlance, you get a decent enough attack range. But I think mostly it gives them also a way to kind of control tempo, control Roshan. They're playing on that Radiant side. You need to have Roche takers when you're on Radiant.
Yeah, if they can utilize the trap vision and stuff, and Night Stalker to just even find Tiger in a fight and kill him first, like it's so much easier for Entity to play.
When it comes down to now we have the carry Alk, the carry Night Stalker, who do you think is going to struggle for these matchups into the later part of this game?
I mean, Alchemist is just a better late gamer, and if it gets to that point, looking at how good Entity is, every single hero on their side does have something that provides vision. So might be a bit too difficult for OG to take a fight, because you will be taking fights on Entity's terms.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing them jump into this. It is game number 3, OG Entity. Let's head over to Sunspan and Jenkins.
Thank you very much. As they said, game number 3 between OG and Entity. The winner of this gets the absolute pleasure of playing against PSG LGD, who have yet to... I mean, I guess they did lose one singular game.
That was to Sonics, yeah.
This entire tournament to the dominant force, as you said, which is Sonics, who are no longer in this tournament. Yeah, something like that. But let's talk about this game number 3. We have... Again, interesting drafts. I mean, this Night Stalker was picked relatively early, so we just assumed it was going to be position 1 from the Saberlight side, and it is. But with that last pick, Phoenix, a little bit of a little difference maker here potentially for OG. I mean, it's Yuragi playing the Alchemist. We saw the position 5 from Seb not too long ago. It looked honestly kind of pathetic, but...
A bit pathetic. A lot of 5s.
The fact that you're able to flex it in some capacity, which they did.
It's a big deal.
That's a nice job here from OG.
Yeah. But looking at these drafts, I think Phoenix is a hero that, honestly, I expected to see a lot more Phoenix into Night Stalker in the previous DPC tour and also this tournament. It's like one of the hardest counters in the game, if not the hardest. It is so annoying. Even if it's on your team, it counters it because it turns it to day, and you're just slowly running around. You're quite pathetic on Night Stalker, and obviously, anytime you are using Dark Ascension, Phoenix is going to probably want to use the egg as well because that means a fight is happening.
Okay, now the real question, as this is a very stupid one, so we have to hold on because there might actually be something important here. The fight for the rune with Stormstormer Company looks like Entity will win it out with OG just backing away. What gets priority? I know that this hero's not in the game, so don't go off on that.
All right.
Luna ult or Supernova?
I think Supernova takes priority over everything.
Over everything?
I think so.
Okay.
But I have been
I was going to say, that would have been a hilarious counter to the counter.
No way. No way. I mean, that'd be sick, actually.
I know.
I think it would even be cool if they tried it and it just pathetically failed. I would still be impressed. I'd still be impressed.
I mean, the fact that this mechanic exists, I think, is really cool, and I hope that they do this with like more heroes in the future. Zamar has the early crush, accompanied by Seb with the Nature's Attendants. He's gonna, that's a big damage soul assumption to Amar. Definitely has to be a bit careful.
And Toby, naturally, he is rushing a crap load of mangoes.
Yep, typical.
So he wants to keep putting out this harass. I think with Clockwork, this is like particularly feisty. This is a nice combo. Like Clock does so much little magical damage running at people, and also like he gets hit as well. Like look at him getting hit. So Toby's gonna constantly have stacks of soul assumption down in the bot lane.
So it might be a bit of a rough lane for OG, but we'll see. The top lane on the other side, I mean, would you consider this a good Alchemist game as a position 1?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, there's some tower push in the Visage, but I feel like Night Stalker, like generally any lane against Night Stalker is kind of a free lane. He's basically useless until 5 minutes because that's when the nighttime is. And so, yeah, Alk is fine here. I think Alk does very well against TA if they're both allowed to have a free game. You get Radiance, you have Acid Spray. It's multiple ways of taking off the refraction charges. I don't think this is a free TA game by any means, but they do have the minus armor draft. They've got good vision for her. So I see why they picked it, but it's not like one-to-one, like, oh man, they picked TA to Alk. That's so crazy, you know? It's not like that.
No. And from Amar's perspective, the first thing I think of with Slardar and him is this Mask of Madness. Does he do this every single game?
From what I've seen, he does,
Okay,
and I would
looking forward to it.
Yeah, I would expect nothing less. I mean, it's like a farming item on Slardar because of the extra damage that you get to creeps with your bash. I think it's super reasonable, and Mask of Madness too. It puts you to this threshold where like against most heroes, you can just man up on them and like almost perma bash them. It's especially good now that you get those little puddles whenever you ult somebody, because if you Mask of Madness and you've got the puddle speed as well, you are able to just stick on top of somebody. It's insane.
And you get the extra regen if you get the Aghanim Scepter, which he probably will not get because he's more right-click. As Taiga does take heavy damage in this top lane, but dives away. Very good skill in that dive, of course. Icarus dive. Those out there not...
That's an S-tier skill.
A tier 1 skill to get away.
Yeah.
But
S for Icarus.
okay, not sure where you're going with that one.
That's it.
But looking at the two lineups, do you have a preference?
I like OGs. I feel like this is a pretty free Alchemist game. And as Synderin said...
Oh, who?
Synderin?
Okay.
What was it that
Think
he
I've
said
heard.
about Alchemist?
It's an Alchemist game.
Oh, that's not what he said.
Yeah, it is.
No, he said Alch is very good against Templar Assassin in a 1-to-1 matchup.
Oh, okay. Didn't I tune him out a lot, so apologies.
That's all right.
I don't tune you out, though, because you're a very good caster.
Appreciate that.
Very good. You need all the help you can get. But Stormstormer in the mid lane, as you talked about, the TA versus Puck matchup, something we've seen a lot of. Maybe not as much recently, because I think there's been a lot of position 1 TAs these days. Is gonna get ganked by Seb, but the Centaur not in range to get the old stomp off. And looking for this water rune. He's gonna take an illusory orb though, and BZM just blocking him off. So nicely done, as he could probably get the other one as well with the cover from Seb.
Nice mid rotation, very nice mid rotation. Just like given how the lane was going, that feels really bad to be Stormstormer. Like he's having to walk all the way back to Fountain now with no boots.
Oh, CD. Okay. All chatting that.
So
Don't hit that shift key, little fat finger there from Fishman.
So they do communicate using in-game
That is weird.
That is interesting.
Seb setting up a little bit of damage onto Fishman. Wants to get some use out of this Centaur, as he will have a heart attack soon enough. Top lane, though, the chase is on to Taiga, who gets through the little avenue in the trees. Concoction from Yuragi kind of puts that to an end as well. So no first blood yet from either side.
No, just slow and pathetic harass going out between both supports. Both are low, and both are trying to block the enemy camps.
Yeah.
So this is one of those scenarios where you have 2 lanes in the top lane. There's the support lane, which Kataomi is winning because he got the bounty rune. And then the core lane, which is the normal one.
And the fact that Saberlight has been essentially playing off lane this series. We talked about, hey, it's playing position 1 kind of, but now he's been off lane. It's kind of interesting. They have that flexibility as the Cause with the battery assault setting up the Soul Assumption, but Seth trying to position himself on the other side of Fishman to try to slow him down so that Mark can hit him a couple more times, but looks like that's going to be broken up as well.
Heal us.
Okay, Seb heals. Yeah, Toby's got a lot of block charges to work with down here, so a couple of Soul Assumptions. Fishman.
Not what you expected.
Yep, Fishman is fine, cogging off that. And OG with a 1k lead, but that is likely just the Alchemist effect. He has Concoction. It will be applied to himself. And Saberlight looking for the courier. He's going to get it in one fell swoop. That's the chainmail. So no delivery this time for Yuragi. Wasn't going to be a full phase boots, as he's going to get chased under the tower. Saberlight trying to bait some TPs, but obviously doesn't have any more ammunition. So
Neither does Yuragi, though. There's no regen on either of these 2 supports. Taiga's not even sending it out. He's sending out a smoke. So, and in his stash, he has a Tango. I think his courier is going back. Because yeah, this is a very awkward lane state for OG. They're not going to be farming this for the next few minutes.
Taiga with another dive, ended up netting himself the creep there. As Yuragi, he's got some nice stacks. Mud Golems are one of Alchemist's favorites to see.
The one hero in the game that likes getting mud golems.
Well, I would say Chen, especially based on Game 1's performance from
Radiant's
Fishman.
middle tower
They
is
were
under attack.
quite good.
Let's, you know, Fishman makes every creep look good, alright?
Every creep.
Yeah.
I don't know, the baby centaur looked pretty pathetic.
Kobold too, the Kobold always looks pathetic.
That's true.
Nice Chalice idiot.
But
you
he
know?
does die with the chalice held up high, so you have to have respect for my boy. Yes, Kataomi with the Arctic Burn. He's going to get Waning Rifted, but obviously with the terrain walking.
Radiant's courier
Well,
has been
BZM finds a
killed.
courier. Now that he has that haste, he feels very comfortable just doing whatever the hell he wants.
It's just couriers dying this game. There are no hero deaths so far, and a 1k goal lead for OG.
Yep. Kataomi puts that healing salve to an end as Taiga getting pursued by Saberlight, but
Dire's
again,
courier
dive is up.
has
They
been
have a lot of
killed.
getaway from both sides, apparently.
Yuragi's level 6 now.
He's going to be happy with this farm. It's going to be a straight Radiance right after these phase boots, so see how fast he can get it. I would say the 12-13 minute mark is what you usually
Radiant's
try to go
courier
for,
has
try to
been
hit in
killed.
terms of your goals from an Alchemist perspective. Fishman, there's the Mud Golem, this time from Seb, so a little bit of retribution for game 1. But Fishman will survive as the hits are quite pathetic, as you brought up earlier.
Yeah. No, now Seb is just jungling, which we've seen from a lot of these creep-type heroes.
He wants to take that regen, but yeah, BZM already expending the Illusory Orb, gets off the phase shift and the Fairy Fire, and that's going to be enough to survive. I thought for sure he was going to go down, and still no first blood. Oh, the rocket flare.
Oh,
Dire
that would have been so
structures
funny.
Just off.
Yeah, yeah, because he did tip as well. He tipped.
He tipped ahead.
Yeah, he tipped ahead of time.
Oh boy.
So that could have been very bad. But no, I
Dire's
think
middle tower
Entity
is
were
under
a little
attack.
afraid of TPs coming in there. Because otherwise, like, you know, surely they clicked him and saw the Fairy Fire. Maybe they didn't. Maybe that was just not one of those situations.
Yep, Stormstormer did get a lot of damage out of that tier 1 mid, so despite this slow pace, he's farming exceptionally well right now, topped in the CS department.
Yep, he's the biggest of boys right now.
Well, it is TA, and that's a woman,
Radiant's
so
middle tower
not so
is
much
under
biggest
attack.
of ladies, I guess. With all that, I'm sure we could get some great lore after this game from Slacks.
Where are you going?
I'm just gonna pretend I didn't say anything. We'll just continue on with the cast. As a TP out from Seb. Again, no kill, but Crush. Amar forcing a TP. Fishman. It's a level 4 clockwork, so he's not really gonna do much. BZM gets a Waning Rip to get to that low ground. This could be first blood. Trap is there. Illusory Orb. The Stormstormer trying to pursue.
Radiant's
And even the
middle
Rocket
tower
Flare
is
missing
under
again.
attack.
But look at this. It's scouting out Yuragi, who is getting nice, big, and juicy here. Kataomi gets up a pretty good Splinter's Blast, taking a couple creeps for himself, and leeching some of the XP, but Saberlight is the one that draws first blood. So Taiga ends up dropping. Thought that was not going to happen considering the consistent Icarus diving he's been having
Dire's
there.
middle tower is under attack.
Kataomi going to be ignored by Yuragi, who
Yuragi's
is trying to stack.
he's trying to stack right in front of the support. That's so funny.
Oh, BZM. A terrible spot here. A
The
nice
side
shot
blades.
from Stormstormer. Getting that nice angle on the creep, so that's going to be the first death for BZM. And Entity off to a 2-0 lead.
Oh, Amar takes the rune. He actually heads mid and does some rune control as an off-lane Slardar.
Okay. That's a good boy.
Yeah, he doesn't want to lane against a Visage at level 6, which I think makes sense. I feel like even a Slardar with the laning prowess that he has, maybe this is one of the few heroes that, like, yeah, sure you can kill a Visage, but I don't know if you can lane against him. That sounds rough.
And Stormstormer out farming an Alchemist. Obviously, he hasn't really
Dire's
truly
top
gone
tower
online,
is
but that's
under
still
attack.
pretty impressive, considering that the free farm has essentially been there for majority of this game for Yuragi.
And he's
A lot of stacks as well.
okay. He goes for the blink. I was wondering what he was going to go for. He queued up the Deso and the blink. The blink means he can actually have a fast timing and play with his team and contest the Alchemist in his own jungle, and I think that's definitely the play. That's Yuragi getting
Radiant's
harassed a bit,
middle
but
tower
he's
is
fine.
under attack.
Yeah, Saberlight was thinking about popping the Dark Ascension,
Radiant
but
structures are
not this time, as
fortified.
Seb getting slowed to a crawl. Stormstormer with one melt strike brings that baby to an
Dire's
end.
bottom
Chipping the
tower
tower,
is under attack.
Catapult's still there.
Catapult's still hitting it, but they should be able to get the deny at the very
Radiant's
least.
middle
But
tower
either way,
has been
OG
denied.
have to have that tower out of the way.
Both sides have good Roche heroes, so I feel like getting the mid tower is incredibly important. Although with that being said, that's going to go both ways. Stormstormer almost got the mid tower as well, with 50% HP, so it's not like it's...
Dire's
You know,
middle tower
It's
is under
only a matter of
attack.
time.
Yep.
Yeah, Saberlight, how long are we till this next nighttime? Looks like another 3.5 minutes. He hasn't really been too active this time, but does have 1 kill. And based on the last game, this is an enormous improvement. Obviously, he was dying a lot. As he's going to pop that ult in that top lane with the crippling fear, but just a simple TP away since the void has already been expended. That's the 1 stun that he has at his disposal. We'll just auto-attack these creeps and at least get some damage on the tier 1. We'll see if OG want to try to defend, because this is a lot of damage coming from Saberlight in that ult form.
I think without Taiga sitting in the tower and holding it, this is a little awkward of a defense, which is probably why he pressed the ult to go in there. Like, I don't... Obviously, if he can kill Taiga, fantastic.
Hookshot, Fishman's level 6 now. Toss back into the arms of Stormstormer, but Seb, he also has his ult, so the right clicks won't come too quickly. He is truly untouchable.
Top tower is under attack.
Level 1 heal, and he's still this tanky. He's actually got level 2 pointed impetus. So he's playing the 4 Enchantress this game, really.
Yeah, going to Dragonlance, so it's going to hurt quite a bit with the impetus. Saberlight back in the jungle, so relatively slow pace from everybody. I mean, typically with, I guess this next nighttime, I would assume is when Night Stalker really wants to try to get something going other than the farm. I mean, we also did see, I think it was him as well playing it, the Aghanim Scepter, just to help him farm even more. I'm not sure if we're going to see it this time around, but it looks like he has the Shard queued up.
Yeah, I don't know about I feel like in that game where he got the Ags, he was more in like the farming role, whereas he's got a TA this time, so TA is going to be like consuming all the creeps on the map. It's always a bit awkward to be Night Stalker versus Phoenix, because, you know, if you're just going around like purely nighttime, well then Phoenix can change that in an instant, right? So, I think other people should be played around, other items.
Oh, Fishman looking for an opening, but you can see that Amar is here as well to accompany Seb. Actually pops the sprint, so we're going to see the coil with the egg being placed. It's going to be broken. Stormstormer just trying to limp away. Right clicks is doing quite a bit of damage. It's going to get dove on, but looks like he will survive. So now Fishman, with that corrosive haze, will likely be brought to an end, although he dodges out the crush, but it's not going to matter. It's going to be 8-2 for nothing. As the Visage and Clock die on the side of Entity. Got the Omi, does have ult though. Winter's Curse available. Not really finding a good opening here, as Armlet now finished for Amar.
Yeah, Saberlight has no ult. Well, now he does, but he did not have ult. It was not nighttime, so he's completely useless. There's just no way to fight that for Entity, especially if Toby goes down, because I feel like Toby is the strong hero right now. Obviously, Stormstormer is the most farmed on the team, but Toby's like the hero that really wants to fight right now. He's got a Vlad's, only 2 points in Gravekeeper, so he did go down in that fight, but he wants to fight. He wants to run around, take towers, which is exactly what they're going to do.
Dire's middle tower is under
Now to push
attack.
onto the tier 1, the fortifications
Dire's
there.
structures are
But
fortified.
OG might have to give this up, considering the amount of the Radiance online, so around the 15-minute mark. Not too
Radiant's
shabby
bottom
from
tower
OG.
is under attack.
So both tier 1s down,
Radiant structures
and
are
there's
fortified.
no way they're going for Roche, is there? Are
Do
they
they-
actually? Okay, yeah, have the double meld available if they really want to go for it, and this is going to be a nice Roche attempt. You can see OG on the other side of the map. They're going to take out the tier 1 tower. I'm not sure if they even know this is happening. They just scanned, so now they do, but it's too late. So this is a really nice pickoff for Enty. You're talking about both lines can't take Roche, so
Yeah.
taking full advantage of just being in the right time, or right area at the time.
Pretty important, because we saw the Puck Coil and Phoenix Egg combo onto Stormstormer the previous fight. It was enough to not kill him, but at least take him out of the fight. As BZM, he's got to be careful, dude. That's a Night Stalker.
Yeah. And obviously, Crippling Fear. We've seen it so many times against Puck this tournament. A lot of times you get the
Radiant's
Force Staff on
bottom
Puck to try to
tower is under
counteract
attack.
it, which he's actually opting for a Ghost Scepter.
Similar
Radiant's
idea,
turret has
just
been
to
killed.
survive during the duration of it, and also, you know, TA Visage. These heroes are primarily physical damage, so I do like this. I think it built into an eventual Ethereal Blade. So this is kind of the greedier option, because I don't think BZM's game is bad. Like, he's got an Alex who's not farming, and then his offlaner's Amar, so he's not farming. But his game's not bad. He's 1-1 and has tons of XP.
This does
Radiant
feel like a
are
game you
scanning.
could go for an Orchid on somebody from Entity's side to try to punish this a bit. Because you won't be able to get a whole lot off for Puck. Because you don't want to go for like a Yule's on top of all of this. Is Saberlight again being TP'd out in front of. And we've seen Orchid from Visage from time to time, but
It happens, yeah. Even Clockwork sometimes gets Orchid, but he's a pathetic 5 position, so
yeah, it happens.
literally no way he's going to get farmed for that.
And it is natural nighttime for Saberlight. See if he wants to pick up the pace a bit. Used to seeing, I mean, he does have the shard now, so he can eat the, well, if he wants to eat an Enchantress Creep, he can.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Ziragi kind of getting forced out of the jungle, but he got
Dire's
most of that
structures
farm,
are
so he's going to be perfectly happy as he is working on the BKB. Taiga, no dive, thanks to the crippling fear and Saberlight. It's pretty damn good ability against both Puck and Phoenix to have these getaways, but and they don't want to build items to try to counteract.
No, they don't. They don't. Now it's a good time to, like, anytime that Phoenix is dead, I think Saberlight is really happy to fight, obviously because the nighttime, the daytime factor. Oh, mid.
Yep, coil, but there's the old pop by the Night Stalker. Trying to get that sucker up instant. Go separate from BZM, but there's the curse onto Alchemist. Just trying to delay things. You can see Amar keeping his way big here. Taking some rifles from Stormstormer. A couple more will do it. He's going to armor toggle and survive, though. As Jiragi with the BKB focusing on Kataomi. Going to get these two supports relatively easily along with Night Stalker. So 3 for nothing as OG looks to take this fight in spades. That's the Aegis down as well.
Dead twice.
Absolutely. Toby's here, though, with his familiars. But if he's not careful, everybody's going to go down to the side of Entity. That's going to be the 4th down. Toby left with his own devices and will likely be chased down. All this infinite damage. It's a double kill from BZM. And OG lose absolutely nothing. And that is against an Aegis.
Ghost Scepter really paid off in that fight for BZM, and also the fact that Amar went for Armlet instead of going for the Mask of Madness build. Stormstormer couldn't kill him. I think he. Okay.
Yeah, Taiga's dead, so
Get a freebie.
Get some revenge here, but still, just the supports going down in these like in-between fights, if you want to call it that. But Amar, his armlet toggling definitely working out that time.
And also just the armor from the armlet is enough to, like, look how tanky he looks to Stormstormer. When he tries to turn around and take this fight, they have to back off of BZM.
Yeah.
BZM is also not right-clicking Jiragi because of the Ghost Scepter. Amar's in the side and getting focused. The only thing that goes down is the courier.
Oh,
Regeneration!
I didn't even notice that before. That was an extra right click that could have been applied to Amar, but it was the courier. So I'm not sure if that was a misclick, but
No, it got side-bladed,
oh, okay.
which apparently can happen.
Oh yeah, we've seen that before.
That's the exact same shot of Seb.
That's just a replay from game number 2.
Getting tricked by Talon. That was... I've seen
Calls from Fishman. He's just gonna get jumped on by Uragi, who now has that leg dagger, so... Oh geez, starting to run away with this bit. Obviously 7k lead looks like a lot, but it is an Alchemist, of course. So... Production, of course, is telling us that Seb does smile a lot.
Radiant structures.
That's the first time I've had production tell me
Yeah.
that was actually awesome.
Didn't know they could talk to us.
7k lead for OG,
Radiant's
though, as a
top
Blink
tower
Dagger
has fallen.
now on BZM. And if
Dire's
Entity's not
bottom
careful,
tower is under
OG
attack.
could really open this up with another one fight. And I feel like that's going to be quite difficult for Entity to get back into
Radiant's
the game.
top tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like it's passing the point where TA can have this, like, monstrous snowball to deal with an Alchemist, especially if you're going to
Stormstormer's all alone, and the corrosive haze means that there's no shenanigans coming out of that meld. Big pickup for OG as Uragi just picking them apart all over the map. And the Crippling Fear is going to break the coil and just die to the Illusory Orb. A little bit late on the Winter's Curse, and this is another punish from OG, 3 dead, and barely any damage done to OG's side. Concoction coming for Fishman. It'll be on.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Okay, alright,
Fishman.
we see you.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
that's my boy
okay.
right there.
Yeah, that was, I mean, they're still losing.
Yes, that is the, that's the brown lining of that.
Right, the whole skid mark of Dota, I see.
The win probability is at 87%. And yeah, OG.
Radiant's bottom tower
Not over
is
yet,
under
obviously,
attack.
but if they do win, it'll be
Radiant
a face-off
structures
against
are
PSG
fortified.
LGD, which is going to be a pretty damn hype matchup. Despite
Radiant's
PSG
middle tower
LGD
is
just
under
crushing
attack.
everyone not named Sonics.
Previous major winners, though, you know, so you can't, you know.
Radiant's
Momentum.
bottom tower is
Momentum,
under
that's the
attack.
name of the game for OG. And in this game, they also do have quite the momentum. It is
Radiant's
looking
bottom tower
rough
has
for
fallen.
Entity to take any fight.
Yeah.
I think there's good counters to TA, who might be
Radiant are
might be
scanning.
have
Vision.
here.
Looking for the opening. There's the coil. Blink by Amar into the back, but the counter shot comes in. But look at this damage precaution onto 2 heroes. And again, OG getting away with murder with no reciprocation whatsoever from Entity's side. 5-13. Again, that doesn't really tell any of the story. As ever since that fight with the Aegis, when Entity had the Aegis, I think they've killed 1 support and
Dyer's
lost
top
like
tower
10
is
heroes.
under attack.
Yeah, what does that say about the
Radiant's
draft,
middle
I guess,
tower
that
is
that,
under
that can
attack.
happen?
Dyer's courier has been
I'm
killed.
just asking me.
Yeah, what do you think there, Shanna?
Well, I think maybe OG figured out Entity a bit. They forced Saberlight into the off lane every single time, which answers my question.
Radiant's
Yeah, I'm just
middle
trying to
tower is
guess
under
here.
attack.
Jenkins, I'm not
Radiant's
the
middle
analyst,
tower
thank you.
has fallen.
OG's good. There's my answer.
Player MVP. Oh, there we go. That's good.
Oh my
Is-
goodness, all right. He was 4-10 MVP apparently in that game number 2.
Double hard, shall I feel it?
He's gonna go kick Productions ass.
Entity, they're smoked up. They absolutely need to win this fight.
Yeah.
And try to force it out here. There's Amar, he's gonna break it. Saberlight with the initiation, crippling fear, but gonna try to take down the Phoenix to start. He has a Ghost Scepter himself. Just the itemization coming out from OG has been masterful. And there's the Winter's Curse turning into a kill on the BZM.
Double kill.
Nice pick off here for Entity. He's gonna try to continue on now. Focus is on Uragi, has that BKB though with the concoction to follow. Fishman getting saved on the outskirts of this fight. And Uragi gets to be careful, the BKB is now ending. Don't have enough damage to finish him off quite yet because Amar's the one that jumps in. He's gonna get decimated. So 3 for 2, but the Visage is fallen. And that's the buyback from the Phoenix on OG's side. So really good fight from Entity, and they need a few more of those to get back in this game.
Kata Omi. I mean, this guy is so good at Winter Wyvern. It's insane. Like, this is not an easy game. The curse on the puck, that's the perfect target. He's hitting the saves as well. Yeah, I mean, another Wraith Band in his inventory, of course.
That's what you need.
It's a classic build. Also, in that fight, Uragi did not have Chemical Rage. So
Dyer's bottom
at the
tower
start,
is under
he
attack.
used the BKB, and then the Chemical Rage comes up after, but it wasn't at the same time, so it's a bit awkward. So we can't really man fight versus Stormstormer without that ability. It's yeah, OG. They need to have their spells ready. They need to have good positioning. Like, Entity is not gonna roll over in this game, especially with this Wyvern.
I mean, this is for the upper bracket to continue, right? Like, if you lose this game for either side, you still have another life.
You lose your heart, though.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be a kick for sure, because
Who's getting kicked?
a kick in the balls is what I meant more than anything. And Amar has really big ones from what I've heard. Based on how he's played, I think I do believe it. The rumor is probably true. OG with the 4-man smoke now.
Dyer are scanning.
Likely to go into the Entity Triangle. Stormstormer. We now have AC online for Uragi. And the smoke is gonna break. Stormstormer TPing out. We'll be fine. They get the ward up a little late, and they think for sure he's here, but we can see obviously that he is long gone. Good attempt from OG. And next rush is gonna be up in 40 seconds. And like you said, they can take it extremely fast thanks to the Slardar, so really the question is, do they even need a pick-off? Like, how good is the pit fight from Entity? If the curse, you have the hookshot initiation. Not too shabby.
I don't think they need a pick off because I feel like if Entity leaves the base,
Radiant's top tower is under
they've
attack.
got to get some insane
Dyer's
jump in
bottom
order to
tower
win the
is
fight.
under attack.
And they're trying, but I don't know how much they can hold this area. Just the birds. They don't have a ward on the high ground.
Yeah, Roche coming back very shortly.
Neither team has a ward on the high ground.
Entity do have vision there thanks to the trap concoction coming out, but he can't use it on Toby because he's slow. And that doesn't work against Stone apparently. Fishman gets off the cost, and there's a jump in from Stormer. Trying to take out Amar. He's already at half HP as the buyback onto the Wyvern already comes through. Look at the damage coming from Seb with these hits on the side. Double kill for Asians, cleaning through everybody. And now BZM with a double kill for himself as well. As 4 are dead, that's a dieback onto the Wyvern. And OG only lose 1, and it's Amar. Set pretty much out of mana, but the concoction is coming as Toby will go down again. Triple kill, and that is looking real bad. That's 2 diebacks from Entity, and now Roche should be a clean one for
Radiant's
OG.
top tower is under attack.
Seb almost has more net worth than the enemy carry Night Stalker, and he does have more net worth than Amar, who we talked about. Very greedy boy. And yet Seb is more farmed, obviously getting a triple kill in that
Look
fight.
at the build on Amar. This is not a
Radiant's
typical one
top
at all.
tower is under
Looks
attack.
like Saberlight's fine, but I mean he went for
Not typical for him.
Yeah, for him. This is a normal-ish build. Maybe the armlet not all the time, but
Radiant are scanning.
you see a replay here. But maybe it has something to do with Seb being in the comms. Like, nah, maybe don't go for that Mask of Madness this time, young lad.
It's worked out. This almost was a really good setup by Entity, but Yuragi just barely not getting chain stun, so he gets his BKB and his ult off.
The snatch is actually from Yuragi, so technically Entity get the Roche kill. Doesn't matter that much, although we'll see who got the shard.
Haste.
Find that shard.
Smiley face. Amar gave him the old European smiley.
Yeah, the one with
Where you do the, it's just parentheses.
right.
Of course, it's a classic. It's a passive aggressive one.
It was a good attempt, but ends up not resulting in too much. I'm actually not sure who got the shard, but TA has the shard now.
Taiga got it.
He didn't have one before? Usually you buy it.
Well, he picked it up. I don't know if he
Radiant's
gave
top
it to him.
tower is under attack.
Yeah, Yuragi looking to try to finish this game with the Aegis advantage now on the side of OG and a 20k lead.
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
Okay, gets a nice curse off, looking for the Phoenix kill.
Dyer's turret has been killed.
Okay, Taiga will
Radiant's
live.
top
So
tower
Scepter
is
actually
under attack.
lets him separate from the pack. Now the rest of OG will just be taking this out. That was a nice E-blade. That's what I missed there, is BZM keeping his teammate alive.
I think that's why he got the Ghost Scepter, so he could eventually build into something that's...
Okay, counteracts the curse.
Yeah, that saves his team. As you're on BKBs.
Yeah, that is a questionable choice for sure. But one center acts in
Radiant's
favor
middle
of
tower
OG
is
now.
falling.
Was that a BM BKB?
It might be. It's very possible. He's going to take a down strike. Rocky getting quite low. Arctic Burn to fall over there. Getting killed a bit with the instant silence from Saberlight, who jumps in with a crippling fear. It looks like so. Down goes the Phoenix along with the Aegis. And nice attempted save at Saberlight. He takes so much damage from Seb once he's able to actually click on him. Stormer with the BKB. Trying to take out the Alchemist. He's going to get him. BKB. Along with that golden brace, we have a buyback on the Alchemist, so it looks like OG want to try to finish this as Stormer will be dead with no buyback, so 3 done. And I wonder how much damage he's done this game with these impetuses, because they
Radiant's middle
are
barracks are under
absolutely
attack.
shredding Entity. Toby in the stone form, but it's going to get saved by Tataomi as well, but you can see Impetus with the waning rift, they can just burst right through it. So OG look like they're going to go on to face PSG LGD in this second series in the playoffs. GG's are called. Nicely played from OG.
Curious to see the damage numbers in this game. I feel like as the game does indeed get paused here.
Yep, that's typical.
Yeah, Seb, I mean, but Taiga and Seb just swapped position.